and 7 Spanish angels took another angel home. Hey, I'm Willie Nelson, and you're watching HempRock TV. We don't run, and we don't compromise, we don't quit, we never do.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Master Sergeant Tony Vance, the voice of Freedom's Voice. Got my grandpa's World War I veteran's hat on, my Freedom Isn't Free coffee cup. This time, let's talk about vaccines and the pandemic. And let's start with a joke. There's a flood. Guy's sitting on his roof, praying, "Oh God, save me. Please, God, save me." Boat comes by. "Get in a boat." No, that's all right. God's going to save me. Later on, a helicopter comes by. Get in the helicopter. No problem. God will save me. Okay. And the water comes up and the guy drowns. He gets to the pearly gate and God's standing there and he goes, "God, why didn't you save me?" He says, "I sent you a boat and a helicopter. Why didn't you get in?" And that's kind of where we're at. It's really kind of where we're at. Police union guy on TV screaming about how forcing people to get the vaccine is all un-American, on and on and on. His problem was that by the time he was saying that, 80% of his officers had already gotten vaccinated. And it was crazy for what he was saying anyway. He was saying crap like, it's only a 1 in a million chance you get COVID, when at the time he said that, the number one killer of officers in the field was contracting COVID. Working with the public, that's a risk. It makes absolutely no sense to me why you wouldn't get vaccinated. You know? He was screaming that more people will die because the cops won't get this vaccine and then they won't be at work, and that didn't happen. Why people are so obsessed with this anti-vaccine stuff, I don't understand. You get dozens, and I'll tell you what, you get dozens. Hep B, you get your first shot at birth, your second at 2 months, and you get your third dose between 6 and 18 months. RV rotavirus, 2 months for the first, 4 months for the second. Diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 15 to 18 months, and then again in 4 to 6 years. Hemiophilus, influenza type B, 2 months, 4 months, 12 months, and 15 to 18 months, fourth dose. PBC 13, pneumococcal conjugate. I probably pronounced that wrong, but 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, and then 12 to 15 months. Poliovirus, 2, 4, 6 to 18 months, and 4 to 6 years. MMR, mumps, measles, and rubella, right? You get that 12 to 15 months, and then you get it again, your second dose, 4 to 6 years. Varicella, 12 to 15 months, and then 4 to 6 years. These are all shots that you get routinely. All of us have gotten these shots routinely, unless there's actually a medical reason for you not to get it, or a genuine religious reason. I noticed that when this anti-vaccine stuff started, religious reasons start flying out of the woodwork. You know, God will save me. Yeah, right. Tell that to God when you're on a ventilator and he looks at you and says, "I sent you a vaccine." And the problem with this, all this anti-vax shit, is it's getting people killed. People listen to that. They don't get vaccine. They come down with COVID. They end up in the hospital and they wonder what the hell happened. And people running around, these anti-vax people running around, they are getting people killed. Now, the whole pandemic thing started December 2019. They knew something was going on. But by then, Trump had already gotten rid of the office that was supposed to handle pandemics and stopped funding the scientists we had in China watching for this kind of thing. And then in January 2020, he said, oh, it was no big deal. There was nothing to it. And then it would turn out to really be a big deal. He said, well, you know, the states are on their own. Now, in March of that year, they did a study. At New York University. They did a study and found that 36,000 people would still be alive had Trump not botched the beginning of the pandemic. People are listening to this crap and dying from it. And the part that I don't understand is the people that are doing this feel no responsibility for their fellow man. You don't just get vaccinated for you, you get vaccinated for your fellow man, so you don't, if you get it, you don't give it to him. And if he does come in contact with it, he's vaccinated, he ain't going to come down with it. More than likely. They've had some breakthroughs, but it's, you know, like a bad case of 24-hour flu or some crap. If you're vaccinated. If you're not, say hello to Mr. Ventilator. I can't count the number of times I've seen stories on TV where a guy's laying in a hospital bed going, I didn't believe it. Get vaccinated. And I personally think a lot of this stems from starting with Reagan. You can't trust your government. Of course you can. Like any large bureaucracy, you got to keep an eye on them, but you can trust them. The CDC, the FDA, all those scientists, it's safe. Millions of people have had it. Now, I understand a little reluctance at first, but there's just too much data to show that it's safe. It absolutely is safe. You know? What about your fellow man? Don't you give a crap about him and his kids? You know, we defend freedom. We don't defend crazy freedom. And refusing to get vaccinated is crazy freedom. God's standing up there going, I sent you a damn vaccine. Now, it's time we got over that. The vaccines have proved effective. You get the boosters you need. As a matter of fact, I got my booster. I got the J&J, and then I turned around and got the Moderna booster because it was showing that it caused more antibodies to grow. So since I had the Johnson and it was a little weaker, I thought I'd go with the Moderna. I didn't have a problem. Didn't feel a thing. Didn't even feel a needle go in my arm that time. And I've been getting poked like a pincushion over the chemo, so. But it doesn't make any sense to me. Have we stopped caring at all about our fellow man? It's like the Build Back Better plan that Biden's got. That's all stuff that our citizens deserve, and we can't afford to give it to them. Why won't we? Why does one half of the aisle feel that nothing should be done? Why does one half of the aisle allow members of their party to remain in Congress who supported the insurrection? It makes no sense to me. But these vaccines, they're safe, they're reliable, And I would recommend everyone to get the damn vaccine. Come on. Unless you got a good medical reason for not getting it, it's a little crazy not to get it, considering all the other vaccines you get. Can you imagine if your parents were out walking around saying, I'm not going to get my child the polio vaccine? A year later, you're in an iron lung. It's just like the vaccine they've got for that that teenagers need to be vaccinated at the time for that the HPV, I think it's called, that can develop. And if we vaccine our kids at around 12, they won't have to suffer that. Why wouldn't you? If it's been proven safe and effective, if the people you elect have in place in the CDC, which are usually professional government people, scientists and such, and the FDA, and they say it's safe, you should be able to trust that. And I do. I do. But like I say, like any other bureaucracy, you've got to follow up and keep them on their toes. But there's absolutely no reason other than a legitimate medical or religious reason for not getting the vaccine. And I'll go right back to the joke. Right? You're going to get up to the pearly gates and you're going to die of COVID, and you're going to get up to the pearly gates and God's going to say, I sent you a damn vaccine. What the hell's the matter with you? You know? Get the vaccine. All right? And then I'll shut up about it. As far as the cancer goes, I had a scan on Tuesday. I haven't seen the results yet, but I could be cancer-free. We'll know for sure when I do the next show. Y'all have a good time, and we'll see you next time, okay?
Hi, I'm Willie Nelson, and the Willie Nelson Teapot Party and I endorse Veterans for Medical Cannabis Access.
Just roll me up and smoke me